Okay. I want to talk about what went into making my album that I'm putting out soon. Maybe it's out already by the time you're watching this. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't pay for anything besides gear. And I want to talk about the budget a little bit and how accessible it is to make music, especially nowadays. Yeah, so I used all free software. All of it was made in Linux, and I think I'll probably make another video about making music in Linux. And but yeah, I didn't pay for plugins or my digital audio workstation. I didn't pay for mastering or mixing or anything. The only thing I paid for was gear, and got pretty low-end gear that I used, and I really just have learned to work with it. And yeah, I want to share. All it really takes to do something like that is you need a computer. So a laptop, my laptop is probably the most expensive thing that I have, because I do a lot of wacky stuff making music. But I also just happened to buy my laptop when I was in a much more fortunate place. It's $1,000, and it's an Asus VivoBook 17 Pro. And it's probably 5 or 6 years old, but it's pretty good. Yeah, on top of that, I also have headphones. These are Sennheiser HD25s. They're the industry standard for DJing. They're not really for mixing, but I got them because I really like having closed ear headphones, and I usually do a lot of producing in noisy environments. And so I really need something that I can just drown out the outside world. And if I need to hear my voice, I'll just listen through the headphones. But yeah, you need headphones. If you want to produce, you need an interface, and you need a microphone. And if you want to get spicy, you can also get, which is also really good for producing, a little keyboard. And all of this stuff is pretty accessible. So originally, I started off with just a microphone and this. This is the this is the Behringer UM2. I think it's about $60 new. And if you get it off of Facebook Marketplace, which you can often find it on there, you can get it for like $20. And it's awesome because you can plug in your microphone directly into your computer and just start recording, and it's one of the most amazing things that you can get. Halfway through making my album, I used this for a lot of the songs, but I had a friend who just had a bunch of musical gear, and she wasn't able to use all of it, and so she was just like, well, you make music, so I'll just give you this because I'm not going to need it or use it. And this is a little nicer than this because there's a preamp which pretty much makes the sound louder. When you sing into a microphone, there's a processor called a preamp that makes the signal a lot bigger, so that when you work with it in your computer, it's loud enough to work with, and it's not incredibly quiet. And so the preamp in this one is not ideal. It does color the sound a little bit, and you have to work around it. You have to EQ it, but there's also a little bit of saturation, a little distortion in a sense. Not super noticeable if you don't have a very trained ear, but it does affect the sound. And so moving from this to this was really helpful. This is cool because this is a Focusrite Scarlett Solo 3rd generation. It's $70, I think, if you get it. I think you get it at Walmart for that price currently, but I got this, it's a gift. So, but the preamp is a lot better. It's more clear on this. There are some downsides to this one. I have to be running my audio engine to get it to monitor, to get the audio to pass through it. But the sound is really crisp and clear, and I really like it. And then this microphone, I also bought halfway through making the album, because originally I used a Shure SM58. This is the industry standard for well, I guess for getting into music production, and also mainly for live performing, it's allegedly has a very flat sound. So all the frequency ranges are like the same as what they would be in like a real life environment. But I didn't have that experience when I used it. I think largely because when I mix and sing and I mix my voice, I really want to accentuate the high frequencies. And this really, I feel like I can really hear the low frequencies and it sounds muddy to me, and so I'm always having to EQ the highs, and it has this digital kind of sound to it. It's not super organic because it's like largely processed. So this is like $100 microphone, but when I was halfway through this album, I was like, man, I did research and I was like, I wonder if I can find what I'm looking for in a microphone so I can have a more organic, right sound. And I found this $50 microphone. It's a Sennheiser XS1. It's cheaper than the microphone I originally used, but it sounds beautiful. It doesn't have so much low frequencies. It has a lot of those ethereal kind of like 6,000, 10,000 hertz are really accentuated with this, and not in a very unnatural way. And for my voice, which is, I would call it like a more male-leaning vocal, it just sounds beautiful. I think for female vocals, if you have a more feminine voice, definitely you would want to lean into something like this, because it's going to make you sound really balanced, and something like this would make you sound like really shrill. And but for me, this was my medicine, and so yeah, that's that. And then for a lot of the synthesizers that I use, and all of the synthesizers and like some of the drums and things like that, I use this to compose. I would just kind of figure out what I wanted to play on here and then edit it on the computer. But this is a $40 AKM 320. Midiplus is the brand, I guess. I got it on Amazon, and it's really simple, and it has like velocity sensitivity, so when I hit the note down, it knows how hard I hit it, and you can change what octave and transpose and things like that. But it's really simple, and yeah, all of the synth stuff I did on here. So that's what I would recommend. Just get yourself each of these things and a pair of headphones that have a really balanced sound. There were some other things. I guess I'll talk about instruments. So I guess probably the biggest purchase I made during my album was this. It was kind of an, well, I don't know if it was an impulse purchase. I mean, it was bass ukulele. I really have wanted a bass guitar or ukulele forever, because I've made music for so long, and I've just used this for my bass, and it doesn't have an organic, grounded kind of sound. A lot of times I really wanted something that I could really be more playful with, and something that really just felt like real and organic and natural, because my goal making my kind of music that I make is to really combine synthetic and organic sounds to make something beautiful. And so yeah, I used this for a few of the tracks, and this is like $270 for this. So it's probably the most expensive instrument I've ever bought. But yeah, it has a very unique sound. Really like it. It sucks playing live sometimes because it's a lot of feedback and ringing with it's like a hollow body bass guitar. But in the studio, it's really fun to play with, and you can fly around the fretboard because all the frets are close together. yeah, there's a couple other instruments I use that I'll share. Hang on. Okay. So this I bought during making this album at a flea market for $30. It's a really cheap Crescent Classical guitar, and I drew all over it with a paint pen. It says my name, Candles, Castle, Candles and Stars. It sounds nice. It had steel strings that were like rusty when I got it, and I replaced them with classical strings. And so that's that. Also, I used a lot of this ukulele that I've had since I was 17. This is the first instrument I ever played, and I still use it on a lot of my songs. It was also a gift, and yeah, I haven't replaced the strings probably since I got it. I replaced them once and then I never replaced them again, but I do a lot of composing with ukulele because it's really easy and simple for me. And I can really manipulate the sound in a lot of ways. I just record it into my microphone, and that's a big part of my process. I will say on one of the tracks I used this $30 condenser mic. I don't usually use condenser mics. I'm currently recording this video with this microphone. It's a Samson Meteor. I don't record my... What was I saying? I don't use condenser mics because they pick up a lot of noise from outside, and I'm always producing in noisy environments. Dynamic microphones like this only pick up sounds that are close to them. So I usually sing really loud right here, like right up close. And if I need to, $2 little pop filter that I got on Amazon that I'll put on there so that when I go like p or like s, it doesn't overwhelm you when you're listening to it. But yeah, I was in a quiet space and I was curious what it was like to record with a condenser microphone, so I recorded with that little Meteor for Nihilist Love Song, and it has like kind of a lo-fi feel to it, and it's kind of fun, but I think it was more of a novelty kind of thing for me, which novelty is something I chase when I make music. So yeah, that's everything. I guess I'll also say a lot of sounds were recorded on my phone. I just recorded in like voice memos, and then like I was like, oh, that's really good. I'll just put it in the song and it'll be stylistic. And so like a couple of the guitars, like in Ona or in Lullaby for a Ghost, the guitars in both of those songs were recorded with the phone, and then I chose to be stylistic with it. And also just random voice memos and things like that. Okay, so there were a couple thoughts that I forgot to mention the first time I recorded, but I just wanted to say like all of my music is recorded in my bedroom, except for Nihilist Love Song. I recorded that in my friend's attic when I was homeless, and she gave me a space, and so I made that there. But besides that, none of it was in a studio. It was all just here at my little desk with the street noise. I also wanted to say the guitar that I'm holding on the cover of the album, it's not on any of the songs. I just play with this live, and I was like, well, this is my guitar that I want to be known by, so I'll just put it on the cover. And yeah, I got a great picture with it. This is like $120 Squire Stratocaster, and it's got a really pretty bright sound, and yeah, maybe I'll talk more about that later. But I also wanted to say, if you really want to get into music production and you have a laptop, I think you can do most of what I've done with like around probably just over $200 for just an interface, a microphone, and a keyboard. Oh, and I guess you probably want to get headphones, so maybe $300. But oh wait, is that counting? Wait. Probably between $200 and $300. But yeah, it's very accessible. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do a separate video about the production side of things in Linux and what that's like for me, because that is honestly my pride and joy. So thanks for watching this. I hope, I don't know, I just hope that this was encouraging. If there's anybody watching this who wants to get into music production and it's overwhelming, I don't know, hopefully this is helpful in some way.